So I want to talk a little bit about something new from Bluetti. This is the Elite 200 V2. This one right here is going to have the same, actually a little bit more power than this AC200L, which is a lot larger. Now, I will say this one's a pretty good size for me. I don't think it's too large. However, if it's going to be in a smaller package and it's going to be even more power, then I do believe this is going to be a better product. Why would you choose this one over the older one? Well, I think I pretty much covered it. It's the smaller package size and even more power. First off, we're gonna go ahead and box it and show you what you get inside, and then we'll break this down, show you all the ports, what you're gonna get on this one, and I'll cover a little bit about this one, but if you wanna go into a lot more detail and you are interested in this one, then I will try to put a video somewhere in here or a link in the description to the AC200L. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up and see what you get inside. Right off the bat, you're gonna have your charging cables. Got your instruction manual, warranty information right there. And last but not least, you actually have the unit itself, the Elite 200. This is a 2600 watt or a 2073.6 watt hours. It's very specific. So right off the bat, we've got 69% battery, quite a bit of battery actually. We could be using this straight off the bat, but let's go ahead and charge this thing up and see what is actually upgraded on this model, the Elite 200. Let's go ahead and check it out. So taking a look on the front, first up, we're gonna have a DC input. This is gonna be a 12 volt to 60 volt, 20 amp, 1000 watt plug. We also have a DC 12 volt. This is a 10 amp. So anything you're gonna have that's going to be plugging into, let's call it a cigarette lighter for lack of a better term, this 12 volt input, that's where you're going to plug in there. So if you want to turn that on, you're going to press this button after turning on the power. Once this is on, you do have two USB-C ports and two USB-A ports. So the USB-As are going to be the traditional USBs. These will be the USB-Cs on either side. These are 100 watt each. This is just USB-C regular. These are going to be 15 watts in the middle. Up next, we've got the AC, which I just turned on with this button right here. You're going to have 4 of those. These are going to be 20 amp max. On each of these, you've got 4 of them. So if you have wall outlet plugs, anything that plugs into a wall outlet, that is going to be what these are on here. So turning that off, if you look up on the front on the display, on the input, we have 0 because nothing is being input into the battery. If you look on here, we've got AC, nothing is going to be put in, so that is also going to be 0. On the bottom, you've got the DC output, nothing is plugged in, so nothing will be drawing from that, and that will be the same over here on the AC output. Nothing is plugged in, so we have 9999. It may be more than that, but I'm pretty sure that's just how it maxes out, is 99 hours and 9 minutes. So at 100%, that is basically how long it would take to drain this battery if you have something plugged in. So if this is at 100%, and let's say you have something drawing from here, you've got 4 hours on here, let's just say for example, and that means in about 4 hours, you will drain this battery completely of its capacity. This one is a 2600 watt. So compared to the 2400 watt on the larger AC200L, that is going to be even more. Obviously that is a higher number, so that will be more capacity there. On this side, we're going to have a very specific number on this one. This is 2073.6 watt hours. So on the AC200L, you're going to have about 2048 watt hours, I believe, on that one. So again, more capacity in a smaller package. So 2600 is going to be the watt capacity. Watt hours is going to be 2073.6. So not that there are a lot of products that would do that, but just for an example, if you were to plug in a product or a device that was going to draw 2073.6 watts, a very large draw that I don't think a lot of devices will use, then you would have exactly 1 hour or maybe even a little bit less, depending on how it fluctuates or if it does fluctuate. You can look at the watt hours and compare that to how much is being drawn per hour, do the math that way. But since we have it built in, we don't really need to do that math because it will tell you right there at the bottom. So on the side, you are going to be able to plug it in and charge it there. That is not going to be this plug. This is the solar plug. That is going to be the other plug, so you'll plug this into your wall outlet there. You've also got a circuit protector, and if you do wish to ground your power bank, you can do that here. I've never done that myself, but you can do that here. On the other side, it is just blank, although this is where, you're going to get some airflow in here to cool it off. On the top, it's going to look just like any other Bluetti, except it's not going to have any charging capabilities on the top, so this will just be blank. So there are going to be 3 different charging modes on this one. Very simple. It's going to be basically a standard, a turbo, and then a silent mode. So silent is going to be the lowest, standard after that, and then turbo in the end. So if you're running this off of a regular wall outlet in the silent mode, the AC input is going to be about 800 watts, 800 watts max for the solar, 800 watts max for the AC plus solar. So if you're doing the standard mode, you're going to get 1440 in the AC input, 1000 watt max for the solar input, and then if you're doing the solar and the AC, you're going to be able to do 2400 watts max. If you go in the top mode, the turbo mode, the AC input is going to be maxing out at 1800 watts, 1000 watts for solar, and then again 2400 watts if you're doing the solar plus the AC input. So if you're using something that is very high powered, like a electric blanket, a kettle, a hairdryer, maybe a microwave, you're going to be able to power up to 3900 watts. So even though this isn't up to 3900 watts on there, you will be able to do that for a certain amount of time. So you should be perfectly fine if you're using any device like that. All right, let's go ahead and weigh this and see how much it weighs. 53.1 pounds. For reference, let's go ahead and do the 200 just to show you. AC200L is 61.5 pounds, so another point to the 200 Elite. So this is a good illustration of what you're going to get in the difference between 2 power banks from the same manufacturer that are about the same power level. The difference, obviously, you're going to get these little protective covers on the front. You're also going to get a different variety of plugs. This will probably be a little bit better if you have an RV. This one might be better for general use. I think if I'm going between these two, I'm probably going to go for this one first because I have a desktop with a lot of information on it. So I always keep one on UPS so that if the power does go out, there's a lot of snow out there right now and sometimes the power goes out. So I don't want that to crash. I'll probably run this one or a smaller power bank for that. But if I'm going out camping or if I'm going to use something for power tools, anything like that around the house, I'm probably going to go for this one more often because it is smaller, it's going to be able to store a little bit better, and it's just a little bit lighter weight and easier to maneuver. That's not to say that this one isn't a great deal as well. Now the prices might fluctuate here and there, but if you get a better deal on this one and you think it's worth it, then go for this one. If you do like the design, the smaller footprint with pretty much the same build quality, the all-in-one unit, so it's not, something you pull from the top and it could break eventually. This is built into the unit. The build quality is really good on both of these. The weight is relatively the same. The capacity is relatively the same. If you do prefer this one, then I'd say by all means, go for the 200L, but I do think this one is going to be better if the price is right. That being said, check the link in the description because I'll have a link to both of these, and maybe I'll drop a link to some other ones like this one. This new one is kind of in between these two. However, the power capacity on this is way different. And that being said, like this video if you like the video, subscribe if you like what I'm doing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.